opinions about him, you know, no matter what your orientation is or your background, you know, your thoughts on the Nation of Islam or, you know, whatever. But he that year didn't even get nominated.
Out of all of his roles, that's probably my favorite Denzel role, period.
Right. He wasn't even nominated.
That's crazy.
And I want to say that was the same year. I think that was the same year Whitney Houston was in The Bodyguard. That didn't get nominated. Her role wasn't nominated. But I think there were one or two other black actors or actresses or whatever that weren't nominated for their roles.
Yeah. Either
lead or supporting actor or whatever for the Oscars or Golden Globes, I think.
And that shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Like Denzel Washington played Malcolm X so good that when I think of Malcolm X, I picture him as Denzel. Like, you know what I mean? That the portrayal Denzel has. You know what I mean?
Right. I think for lack of better terms, the most noble person of color or black man, if we're going to just talk about strictly black people, the most noble black actor, the most noble role a black actor that won an Oscar for, I want to say it was Jamie Foxx. For Ray.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Ray Charles's life wasn't, you know, sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
There was some drug use, which I think they portrayed. There was some infidelities. There was some adultery here and there and all that stuff. I mean, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
To win an Oscar, to even be considered to win an Oscar, we gotta look like the stereotypical black person, or we gotta have some stereotypes to us to even get considered. We're already at a loss for being, you know, persons of color,
right,
in Hollywood still. Like all the shit that Black Panther got, or all the shit that Luke Cage got. Luke Cage was made. It was like, why does this show have nothing but black people in it? It didn't have nothing but black people in it in the first season, at least. There were some, you know, a couple of white people that had, you know, pivotal roles.
Yeah, the man Shades.
Yeah,
he really wasn't white though. He's like
he's
Latino.
Hispanic. Yeah,
he's Latino.
But there were a couple of Caucasians that were seen that had, you know, something to say, that drove along the plot. But it was like, really, y'all freaking out over one show that has a lot of people of color?
Right.
Like I can name 5 shows off the top of my head that are a part of pop culture, a part of society that you can't go through 3 white people and all 3 of those not know what you're talking about, as far as shows that had, you know, all white cast or predominantly white cast. So it's still kind of that way. Black cinema or just black media, unfortunately, there's still stereotypes attached to them. Stereotypes don't seem to want to go away. Racism doesn't want to see them go away, whether it's direct or it's indirect, I guess.
Right.
So it's a hard mountain to climb, because sometimes that strife, those demons, those mountains that black people climb, that's what sells tickets.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
that's what put butts in seats.
That's what sells tickets.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know.
I like. I forgot. I think it was Russell Simmons who was saying it, where, you know, the Oscars, the Grammys, these aren't for black people. They're not awards for black actors or black musicians. You know what I'm saying? So focus, like, do your own shit, like create your own shit. Like, you know, the BET Awards, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Or if they do, like, if they came out with something else that's equivalent to the Oscars, where, you know,
you
know what I mean? So, I kind of lean towards that mind state, that mind thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That thinking, I should say. So,
people don't want to. I guess it seems that people don't want to see that kind of stuff. They don't want to see. They don't want to. I don't want to say they don't want to see black people do good. It's just there's something about.
There's certain roles.
Yeah.
There's certain roles that sells.
Yeah.
If you're not playing those roles, you know, it's not going to sell as good.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I seen the previews for that Harriet Tubman movie. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna see it.
Yeah. Okay.
And but it's portrayed, you know, slavery time,
right?
And you know, portraying one of the greatest heroes during that time, obviously there. Mm-hmm. So, but still, it's just one of those things, man. It's like, man, like when the fuck are we gonna get a Shaka Zulu movie? Like, you know what I mean? Like, show me something with some black kings. When we gonna get a Mansa Musa movie?
I don't even think I had heard anybody just saying, yeah, I guess like something like that in the works.
Yeah, like give me some.
Hell, just have it in the works.
Because the slavery movies and shit like that, and like I get it, like you know, you want to trade a history about it, but that was a little period of time in Black history. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying, like 400 years of it.
Hell, make a Marcus Garvey movie,
right? Right. Like I want to see some shit where like I said, Manson. Like I'd love to see a Manson Musa movie. Yeah, like a biopic of him. Something. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know some of these stories don't end well, but still.
Yeah, I mean. Show me a Shaka movie, man. Shaka was that dude.
Yeah, I mean, just
I love to see some shit like that.
Put it out there, and if anybody's listening, and y'all got that in the works, don't even go to Netflix or you know, or Amazon or whatever. Try to get that in a theater, man.
I don't know, but Netflix is a fucking beast. It is. These streaming services is taking the fuck over.
It is. I mean, like I mentioned, Martin Scorsese, who is a cinema legend, that's where that next project is going out, and I'm gonna see it because it's got De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci, right? All three of them in it. Yeah, I know that's where it is. I know that's where it is. For me, visually though, because I tend to be a visual person. Yeah, I would love to see people waiting in line to see one of these stories about one of these Black kings.
I feel you.
Okay, I mean, I remember going to see. I mean, the weather was shitty. It was February. It was cold. It wasn't snowy, but I mean, it was just shitty Buffalo February weather. But man, I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I went to go see Black Panther. Yeah, I didn't see it the weekend it came out. It took me like a week or two to see it. Right. But still, even then, 2 weeks afterwards, I'm sitting there going, yo, we seeing this movie. Yep. People were shoulder to shoulder in seats or whatever, if you will.
Lit, man. Yeah. It was lit.
Like, I want to see something like that for these Black kings, these Black historical figures out there. Yeah. That'd be wonderful.
I agree on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, those streaming services nowadays, man, they taking over. Yeah. Like you seen the Disney joint that's about to drop?
Yes.
Disney is such a fucking powerful phenomenon, yo.
Yeah.
Like so it's going to be the Disney stream where you can stream like all their fucking movies and the superhero movies and you know. And then they got Hulu. Yeah. And they got National Geographic, I believe, as well. Okay. So and it's going to be like cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Disney is a fucking powerhouse. And I was just thinking about this last night. Right. I just think about random shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, I'm in my mind.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, damn, Disney is such a fucking powerful company, man. So they own ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
ESPN, ABC.
ABC. Yeah. They own fucking, you got Disneyland and Disney World. And then you got the fucking Marvel shit going on.
Wait, did they buy Fox or they bought some of the stuff from Fox
too?
Yeah.
They got that going. Yep. I was like, yo, they fucking taking over the world.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, what other company is up there where it's like they're that influential and that powerful? Like I was thinking like I was thinking Apple.
Yeah, but Apple is sort of just the means to get all that shit.
Right. But still, like, Apple, you think, like, when I think of Apple.
Until Apple has original programming or something like that, it's just, I mean, right now it's probably Netflix. I mean, as far as media or what you want to get, it's probably Netflix.
But not just media, like, just period. Like, in terms of, like, just structure of power.
Okay, yeah, there really isn't anything else out there. Well, the next thing is NBC Universal.
Okay.
That's what it is. NBC has obviously the channel for, you know, fiction or, you know, whatever, fictional stuff, you know, dramas, comedies, sports programming, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then seeing that it's NBC Universal, or maybe more so, I guess Comcast is the actual parent company. They also have Universal Studios. They have theme parks. Mm-hmm. And then the third behind them is Viacom, and Viacom has CBS, Nickelodeon, and a few other ones. CBS Sports obviously is another one, but those are, I mean, they're far behind, but that's the competition. I would, in my opinion, I would say NBC Universal is a step ahead of Viacom.
I got you,
but because NBC has, you know, their various news outlets too. They do their sports programming, which is pretty big. I mean, speaking of NBC, they have their sports programming. They have Sunday Night Football. They have NHL hockey. That's something that, speaking of NHL hockey, that's something that Disney doesn't have. Disney has NBA. exclusively.
They got the finals every year.
Yeah.
Finals.
They have it exclusively, whereas NBC, for example, has Stanley Cup final exclusively every year. That in the playoffs. It's funny. Speaking of sports, it's all over whichever network the NFL decides to lean to one day. But I don't think they can necessarily. I don't think they should.
Yeah.
You want everybody to get NFL games,
right?
Even though there is an NFL network. But yeah, the sports programming is kind of where it's at too. Like, I mean, as far as your fiction, like your movies, TV, and theme parks, Disney's got that shit. They just do. Or in streaming service, Disney's got that shit.
Dominating.
They got that shit. Yo. And you got NBC, or you have Comcast and Viacom. They're on the racetrack. They're not. They're not right behind the leader, though.
They trying.
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying as best they can. They're just right now that they got crumbs and maybe a few big pieces, but no, Disney's at the fucking table. They got the whole table.
Man, Disney's a beast, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about you before we wrap this up.
All right.
So, I posted a picture as I announced. I'm gonna have you on the show.
Yep.
You be doing the. When you first started, you did the Batman, the Black Batman.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
And I remember we did the what was it, the wine tour joint.
We
Halloween.
We did this thing called Halloween. That's done up in the Niagara Wine Trail.
So I remember you started the suit there, and then you just upgraded it from there.
I did the best I could to upgrade it.
Man, that shit looks like a professional suit.
Well, by now I would say it does.
Yeah.
And
how did you come? Like, how did all of that start?
A lot of money.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be Batman. I always thought that I could. And
by the way, Batman, greatest superhero, better than Superman.
Yeah.
Fuck Superman.
If I had to choose between the two, I'm choosing Batman all day. Personal issues and everything. To me, Batman just drew to me because regardless of how he became it, he's a man who is driven to make change. He obviously is rich and has all the resources to do all the stuff that he's doing, but that's what drew me to him. Like, he was somebody that could walk amongst everyday people, but then turn around and become someone else. Some would argue that Batman is the real person. Bruce Wayne is the costume. And yeah, that probably is. That most likely is. But to put on the costume, I mean, as far back as I can remember, I wanted to, suit up in a sense and be more than just a man, be this kind of presence that could put fear into an enemy or whatever. That something about that was like, yo, that's awesome. And to put on the costume, it's not comfortable. It's never been comfortable. So I have in becoming a grown man and putting on a costume, I had an appreciation for, the behind the scenes part of it, what you see in the movies or, TV shows or whatever. I had a newfound appreciation for, no shit, that's hard, man. That's tough to kind of make it fit or make it look like it's professional. It took a lot of progression, a lot of trial and error, a lot of that glue really doesn't work. I've got different fingerprints now, I think, from sticking together my fingers with glue and all that shit. I had stabbed myself a couple of times with like an X-Acto knife or whatever. It took a lot of money. At one point, I thought I should have stock in like Joann Fabrics or Michaels, where I was getting. I mean, there was a point in time where I was going to Joann Fabrics, I think every week or every other week, just to get more super glue or to get paint or to get primer or sandpaper or fabric or whatever.
Right.
But it took progression. It was trial and error because even the best, and I am not one of the best cosplayers. I do appreciate the compliments that I get, whether it's from kids or grown adults or whatever. Everybody has to start somewhere, and I think that time we went out on that wine tour, that was the first time I really wore something that was put together. I didn't have, I didn't go to like Party City or one of the or Spirit Halloween or whatever to buy a costume.
Right.
I maybe bought pieces and parts to it,